What is going on, guys? It's your boy Afandi back at it again here. Just took a nice little over 3R with a Nasdaq trade today after CPI release. Banger trade, and I'm just gonna go ahead and just break it down for you guys what I saw and how I executed it and why I executed it. So you guys can see the bottom right corner. I have the M&Q pulled up. I went three long and exited three, of course, after I got to the target that I wanted. So you may ask, why did I go long? Especially with this Trump market is going crazy. You just don't know what to expect nowadays with the rallies and the short rallies when it comes to Trump being in the presidency. Very sporadic and very volatile market. You just gotta love it. Love it and hate it. It's a love-hate relationship when it comes to his market if you guys haven't traded it before, right? Well, the reason why I decided to go long was because here on NASDAQ, on the daily chart, let's go ahead and go down. We hit a weekly FVG not too long ago, beginning of April last month. And from that point on, we kind of just gapped up and, we started moving bullish. You can see the same thing on ES as well. But here's what I spotted on the NASDAQ. My thesis is that we're going to go back into this weekly fair value gap to completely fill it out. But we'll see what happens. Nonetheless, I took it long because my narrative is long as of right now. That is where I'm learning to be adaptive with the market and so on and so forth, right? So moving forward, we can see here that we recently started breaking daily highs here, just back to back to back, and just a clear switch of order flow. And to me, when I woke up this morning, I mean, that's kind of why I was targeting, daily high from last night, from yesterday, and May 1st, right? It was clear, what do they say? Trend is your friend. I mean, that's really what it comes down to, and that's exactly what I saw, and that's exactly what I executed. So we saw that we dipped into the 4-hour fair value gap last night at 6 p.m. Eastern. And when you narrow it down to the 1 hour, we can see that we created another BC to the upside from that 4 hour, right? So when you start seeing fair value gaps being created from a higher time frame, then you know that it's a higher possibility of one thing happening over the next, right? It's never going to be 100% risk free and 100% win rate. That's not going to happen, but it definitely does increase your chances, right? So I saw this happen overnight. And when I clocked in to the market, I was just waiting for CPI data, and my target was that daily. So where did I see that entry? So from the 1 hour, which is this gray box, CPI data hit this big ass, what is this? 100-point candle, damn near 100-point candle, right? This is off of 1 minute, by the way. I tend to enter off of 1 minute from the 1 hours. And when we narrow it down, I'm not going to enter at the beginning of this FVG to target the daily PDL for a 1.28 risk to reward. That's just not my style. It's not my vibe. I do 2R and more. So what did I do? Well, I went ahead and narrowed it down. From the 1 hour, we created a temporary swing high, swing low, a nice little swing section here. Take a look here. Put the fib there, and you can see we created a nice little retracement to the downside again to get entry. So I entered right here. I put my stop right below the FVG itself, right there. And when I hit the target, it was definitely a nice little 2R right there. But like I said, with myself, on the entry points, you can see that I went in and then I scaled out. So 20,124. Yeah, right here. Where is it at? Okay, well, you get the point. A nice little like two-ish R, and I did scale out the first two contracts a little higher than expected. So it was around like $415, which is pretty dang good for being in a trade for like less than 30 minutes. You can't ask for more. I mean, seriously, right? And on the top right corner, you see the 15-minute chart when it comes to the NASDAQ. And I mean, it was very clear we were aiming for those highs. And originally, I'm really just aiming for, or my hypothesis is that we hit this weekly fair value gap that's sitting right above right here. I'm hoping that we fill that there. Of course, anything can happen in the market. So I did have another trade idea that I used, or that I entered actually, right here, bottom right corner. You can see I went five macros long, but I had to exit out the trade because of the fact that with my funded futures, you can't trade news, otherwise you breach the account. So originally I entered way before CPI even developed itself. Let's take a look. I entered right here. I remember, and I had to stop right there. I would have been in at the trade in like what? How many candles is that? 6 candles, 6 minutes, right? And but it is what it is. You can't have it all. I didn't fret it too much because I'm like, opportunity shows itself, and that's what it did. I was able to enter a little later. It is what it is. Can't have it all. But that's pretty much the little rundown of that. So with that being said, guys, that's pretty much the trade that I took today. Nice little 3-ish R, 2.5-ish R, whatever you want to call it. All I know is pretty good trade execution, and you can't ask for nothing more than that. $400 in less than 30 minutes. That's crazy, right? Anyways, it was my pleasure showing you guys the trade that I took today. Go ahead and comment, like, and subscribe for more content and more trade recaps. See y'all later. Peace.